Benedicite Dominus, and welcome to question 46 of the Secunda Secundae. The topic for this lecture is Folly, and I am Dr. Thibault. So we are looking at the final topic of charity, which is the final topic of the theological virtues. The next, if you want to continue on, we move on to prudence, which, just so you're aware, is actually backwards for me since I started in the middle of the secunda secundae, so I have looped all the way around. So for me, this is just about the end of the secunda secundae. You might be at the beginning. So we are looking at the vice contrary to the gift of wisdom, right? So this is the final section. So, and it's only 3 articles long, nice and short. So the first article is folly contrary to wisdom? To which the answer is yes, right? So this is very linguistic, this answer. More than any other question throughout the Secunda Secundae, St. Thomas is depending on Isidore of Seville. And for clarification, of Seville, not the farmer. The gift of wisdom is given as a remedy against folly. Right? So this is coming from St. Gregory the Great, right? His great commentaries on morality. And then we get into the definitions. So, stultitia, I believe it's called, the word folly originates from the term for stupor, right? So, the only time we ever really say the word stupor might be a drunken stupor, or maybe following a large Thanksgiving meal or something like this. But it's a type of apathy in the heart and a dullness in the senses, right? So that makes sense, right? Think of the person sitting on the couch after a big Thanksgiving meal and having, a few glasses of wine to drink. They have a apathy of heart and a dullness of senses, right? There's a not so sharpness to them, right? They're not so sharp. And we get into these definitions more in the next article as well. St. Isidore points out that a fool is one through dullness, stuporem, remains unmoved. Right? There's an unmovedness in here. And in contrast, wisdom gets its name sapien, right? Think of Homo sapien, right? Thinking, wisdom, wise apes. We get the name from sapor. So sapien gets its term from sapor. Folly gets its name from stupor. Well, why sapor? Savor is the term. Why savor? So a wise person savors something, right? And the example St. Thomas points to is the idea of a good culinary person, for example, knows how to savor the flavor of food, right? So if you are a good culinary person, you have a bite to eat of something, you might say, I taste, cumin in there, and I taste curry, and I taste coriander, and I taste maybe some pepper, and I taste some cream, right? You can identify all these different tastes through the process of savoring it, right? In contrast, you just, eat the Taco Bell and you eat it so fast you don't even taste it, right? That's not savoring it. If you eat a good meal and you take a bite and you contemplate it, right? You're contemplating the flavor. You're enjoying the flavor, but you're enjoying it by savoring it, right? This is a wise being, right? In contrast, you feed to the dogs and the dogs just swallow the food, right? There's no savoring of the dog food. for the dogs, but humans can really enjoy each bite, right? That's wisdom. So in contrast to savoring each bite, it's this kind of dullness of senses where you don't taste anything, right? There's an apathy there. There's a nothingness that comes from eating, right? Maybe you're just eating for the sake of boredom, right? Or you're eating because you're hungry, but you're not even conscious of it, right? This is the contrast. So this is the big distinction, right? Folly versus wisdom is laziness, dullness of senses versus savoring. You can see why savoring would be the virtue and not the contrary. So is folly a sin? Right? It's kind of laziness or dullness. St. Thomas points out that from the book of Proverbs, that the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. Right? Prosperity of fools shall destroy them. It's kind of a good image. Right? It's kind of you think of a fool winning $500 million. They have these $500 million lotteries like once or twice a year, Powerball. And you think of some fool winning it. What are they going to do with it? Right? Buy a gaudy house or a gaudy car or a gaudy boat or who knows what, right? But a lot of people who win the lottery end up broke within 10 years, some high statistics of people going broke. Why? Because they were foolish with a little bit of money and they're foolish with a lot of money, right? If you are broke when you are poor, you will be broke when you are rich. Right? This is the prosperity of a fool. It will destroy them, right? So St. Thomas points out then that there is folly in two ways. Right? The question is it sinful? Well, look at it two ways. One, there are idiots. St. Thomas says there are idiots out there, and this is not sinful because they are idiots, right? So if you are an idiot, it's not sinful, right? Meaning if you're just not that smart, right? There's some people not that smart. They are not going to enjoy an Italian opera, right? They're not going to enjoy, those really fine wines, right? I'm one of them. I'm not going to enjoy the fine wine. I can tell the difference between a $5 bottle and a $20 bottle, but I couldn't tell you anything about a $50 bottle, right? I don't have that savoriness about me. Right, there's just some things are lost on some people. Some of the finer things can be lost on some people. Right? I remember wanting to go out with friends sometimes and say, "Oh, we want to go see a play," and it's shot down. It's like you want to go see a really stupid movie, and they're excited, right? You want to go out to travel to Europe? No. You want to go to a bar? Yes, right? It's just the level of sophistication is different, right? There's a different level. Some people might just be idiots, right? But there's some other, maybe the more honest thing is that we are all sometimes idiots in some things, right? You might be really sophisticated when it comes to music and really an idiot when it comes to film. Right? You might be sophisticated when it comes to food, but an idiot when it comes to travel, right? We're all idiots in something, right? So there are two ways to be lazy and kind of unaware of our senses, and this is by being an idiot or worldliness. That's the other one. Now, St. Thomas says worldliness is a sin. So how does this work, right? A dullness of senses. Well, so the example I think of a lot, having had a teenage boy in the house as a foster child. If I were to say to him, "What do you want? You can do anything you want today. What do you want to do?" Probably would involve eating hamburgers, getting junk food, playing video games, messaging his friends on Snapchat or Instagram, right? not showering, not leaving the house. This would be his ideal. And if I said, what do you want to do tomorrow? But same thing, right? It probably would be over and over again. Never leaving the house, never showering, sitting on the couch, playing video games, eating junk food, messaging his friends, flirting with girls online. This would be the life, right? But this is lowering oneself into worldliness, right? There's no magnanimity there, right? There's no largeness of life. There's no magnificence, doing some great, grand, big, important thing, right? There's no sense of heroism in this, right? There's a heroic sense of virtue, right? This is all gone, right? It's just what's in my belly, right? Reducing it to the appetites, food, drink, and sex, right? That would be reducing it to its worldliness, right? It's temperance that helps us to overcome these things, but if we would just give in to them, right, we end up with the dullness of senses, right? A person who eats hamburgers and chicken nuggets and French fries and Monster energy drinks all day, they're not going to enjoy a good creme brulee, right? They're just not, right? Because you have lowered your standards so much that you have dulled them. You have dulled your senses. When I had a newborn baby, I always gave him the most strange, bizarre vegetables that like most adults wouldn't want to eat. But I thought, well, he has no choice. He's so young, but might as well expand his palate, right? I didn't want him to grow up with a palate of chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese. I wanted him to have a wider palate than that. St. Thomas points out that for somebody who is in folly, in that worldliness, even sweet things have no savor for a man whose taste is infected with the evil humor, right? It's, sin dulls the senses, right? It makes us apathetic, not in a good way either, right? Makes us uncaring, dull, insensitive, and the smallness of life, right? Pusillanimity, or even effeminacy, right? These are vices of the smallness of life that comes with folly. Third article and final one is folly, the daughter of lust. And this, St. Thomas says, yes. So folly is caused by the spiritual sense of being dulled, so as to be incapable of judging spiritual things, right? This is, I think if I were to be honest, I would say, it's the food, it's the drink, it's the sex, right? These are the three of the appetites, sensual appetites. It's kind of all of it, right? But of the three, food, drink, sex is the most, as St. Thomas says, now man's plunged into earthly things chiefly by lust, which is about the greatest of pleasures, right? So St. Thomas points out is, okay, you got food, drink, sex, right? These are the three. Of the three, which one is the most of the earthly desires, right? What is the chief earthly desire? The one that will drag you, the one that will pull you down, lust, right? Lust is the greatest of these, right? Sex. So many men are ruined by food, but more will be ruined by sexual appetites that are uncontrolled, right? So this is the greatest of folly, right? Chasing your stomach, chasing a woman, that'll do you in, right? This would be St. Thomas's view. Chasing a man. Food is challenging, but the sexual appetite is more challenging. So these are our three articles. So folly is contrary to wisdom, right? Wisdom is an acuteness of the senses, whereas folly is a dullness of the senses, in a matter of speaking. Folly can be a sin, right? If you're an idiot, not a sin. But if you have sunken into worldliness, that is sinful. because it dulls the senses and you're unable to savor wisdom, right? You're unable to really live life to the fullest, right? This is folly, right? And folly is a daughter of lust. Because although all the appetites can draw you down into worldliness, the one that will most quickly draw you into worldliness will be lust, right? The most disastrous of the three. Okay, well, that is it for charity. We are done with charity. So thank you so much for joining us for the theological virtues, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the Summa. Okay, have a great day.